everyone, today I want to share with you why keto diet is actually not the best way to lose weight if you have underactive thyroid or Hashimotos that led to underactive thyroid, and what is better way, more effective way to lose weight with 5 key tips. Because if you have thyroid condition, the weight loss is not about calories, but the hormones. And I know it can be frustrating because I've been there. I tried lots of different diet supplements and nothing really worked until I actually found more sustainable approach. So let's dive in. So let's start with the most obvious. Keto diet unfortunately will lower your T3 thyroid hormones. T3 is the active form of thyroid hormone that fuels your metabolism and hundreds of other processes in your body. So on one hand, keto diet itself will help you burn fat because of the low insulin in absence of carbs, but also on the other hand, keto diet can increase your cortisol, which then will steal your active T3 hormones and make your thyroid condition, your underactive thyroid, worse or more sluggish. And that unfortunately will make the weight loss very hard or sometimes even cause weight gain, which happened to me. I started doing the keto, I saw amazing results as probably most of the people, but at some point it plateaued and then actually my body started accumulating more fat, not mentioning about more gut issues and a few other things. So that's something you definitely want to consider, short-term gain versus long-term pain. And by long-term pain, of course, I mean making your thyroid conditions worse. Because the fact that you are able to lose a bit of weight at the beginning or fat doesn't mean you're not aggravating your thyroid condition and then making the weight loss in the future harder and harder. And that's actually what I see quite a lot in my clients. At first, they are trying 1200s, keto diets, they see results, but after a while, either they come back to the initial weight or basically the weight loss completely stops, and then the next time they try keto again or like other diet, it's basically not working. And that might be a sign that your metabolism or thyroid is completely shut down. And the second thing is basically impact of keto on inflammation. And I will explain in a second if keto increases or decreases inflammation. But the first thing you want to keep in mind that inflammation can directly prevent you from losing weight, even in healthy people. I mean, healthy people don't have like chronic excess inflammation, but basically inflammation can cause a weight gain. And then indirectly by inhibiting T4 to T3 conversion. T4 is like inactive form of thyroid hormone, T3 is the active. And if that conversion is impaired, that will affect the metabolism and also make your thyroid more sluggish, more lazy, which can prevent you basically from losing weight or make weight loss really hard. And if it comes to keto and inflammation, it can be a bit confusing because there is lots of mixed research saying, yes, keto helps to lower inflammation, but there is also research showing that keto actually can increase inflammation. So let me show you a couple of common scenarios when actually keto can increase that inflammation and make weight loss hard. So first one is gut health. Gut health basically it's number one if it comes to like Hashimotos and underactive thyroid because of the conversion I mentioned that happens in the gut. And if it comes to keto unfortunately was shown to decrease the amount of bifidobacteria. Bifidobacteria is a type of the strain that protects your gut from pathogens, parasites, and bad bacteria, broadly speaking. So if you don't have enough of the bifidobacteria and the bad bacteria or gut pathogens start to overpopulate your gut, that unfortunately can increase inflammation. And then the second gut-related thing is basically leaky gut. So keto diet unfortunately was shown to damage gut wall integrity, which then can lead to leaky gut, which means more inflammation. Will keto cause leaky gut or depopulate you from bifidobacteria in everyone? Of course not, because that will of course depend if you get enough probiotics from food. For example, I was not breastfed, so to start with, my levels of bifidobacteria were very low, so I'm at higher risk of having not enough of the good guys. And with leaky gut, it comes down broadly to the damage versus the repair that your body is able to do. So if you're deficient in lots of nutrients, you're at higher risk of leaky gut and more inflammation. Then the next factor, if it comes to inflammation, it's fats oxidation. So what happens when you eat a lot of fats, but you don't eat enough antioxidants? Fats unfortunately can oxidize, and that will cause inflammation. Then also your pH, because keto diet is mostly fats and protein. Protein unfortunately is acidic, so if you overconsume too much of the acidic foods without balancing with greens, vegetables, and also key alkalizing minerals, then your body cells pH can increase systemic inflammation. And then the last one, insulin. So if, for example, you have elevated levels of insulin because of chronic stress and not high carb, high sugar past diet, then keto diet most likely will cause more inflammation. And that's because of the cortisol I mentioned earlier. Keto unfortunately can increase cortisol, and cortisol will also spike your blood sugar and also insulins. So by now you probably realize I'm not personally big advocate for keto. I'm not against keto, but what I'm saying, if you have underactive thyroid or like hormone imbalances overall, keto comes with lots of risk, especially if not done the right way. And if it comes to weight loss and health overall, I prefer more sustainable approach, which brings me to the second point of the video today, which is what's the better way? And answer, unfortunately, you may not like it, because the best possible way to lose weight with underactive thyroid or Hashimotos is simply improving your thyroid, because otherwise, if you try to lose weight completely ignoring your thyroid condition, then I like to compare losing weight to climbing a mountain with heavy 50 kilograms backpack. It will be hard. On my website you can find quite a lot of resources in terms of like natural treatment for Hashimotos and hypothyroidism, and also diet for underactive thyroid. I will put the link in the description. So for improving thyroid and also starting your weight loss the right, healthy, balanced way, I wrote down here 5 key, most impactful tips. So the first one is basically cutting gluten and refined sugar. Cutting gluten can actually have like massive impact on your weight loss. So that's definitely something you want to consider. And then sugar. So with sugar, you don't have to, of course, go cold turkey, because that's something I don't recommend either. But you want to basically focus on reducing your total sugar intake and focusing on more naturally occurring sugars like fruit, honey, or even dates. But again, moderation is the key. Then the second point is reducing carbs to 150 grams. Too much carbs can cause fat gain, but also too little carbs can suppress your metabolism, impair your thyroid, and also cause fat gain and prevent from fat loss. So usually 150 grams is a sweet spot, I would say. But if you exercise, you're more stressed, you may need a little bit more. But definitely I wouldn't go lower than that. Then the third one is sleep and stress. So you really want to focus on good quality, restful sleep. Ideally go to bed before 11 p.m. because that's also when your adrenals regenerate the best. And adrenals are super important for like thyroid health and reducing stress, because if your body is in that constant fight or flight mode, that unfortunately will chronically elevate your cortisol and will directly cause fat gain, but also will over time shut down your thyroid. And then the fourth one, thyroid foods. So here I put 5, I would say, absolute my top winners. So eggs are really good. 2-3 a day is completely fine. Then grass-fed beef, around 100 grams, 2-3 times a week. Organ meats are also great. I personally am not a big fan of organ meats, but if you're fine with it, then definitely a good source of vitamin A, iron, all the thyroid nutrients. And then pumpkin seeds, because of the decent content of zinc. Broccoli sprout, powerful antioxidants, and also helps with estrogen balance. So estrogen is like another aspect that can basically impair your thyroid function if you have too much estrogen, of course. And then the seaweed and Brazil nuts. Seaweed, of course, the great source of iodine, Brazil nuts, selenium. I know seaweed tastes horrible, so what I like to do is get the seaweed pate. So that's something I actually found in an organic store, but also you can make it yourself at home if you Google seaweed. Pate is basically just blending seaweed, a bit of salt, olive oil, and I think adding nutritional yeast could be a good flavor enhancer, or maybe sardines so you don't feel that typical seaweed flavor. And then the last point, probiotics rich foods, because as I said, gut is pretty much like fundamental for thyroid and Hashimoto and the healthy, sustainable weight loss, so that's something you want to focus on as well. And that means basically including probiotic-rich foods. I like personally kimchi and goat kefir, but it can also be sauerkraut. Fermented beetroots are also good. Anything fermented, in other words. And if you already tried everything and you feel you're doing all the right things, but still you're not losing weight, you may want to check out my weight loss thyroid fix program, where I can help you optimize all areas necessary basically to improve your thyroid and lose weight effectively.